Okay. Welcome, everybody. We are live. Glad to have you tonight. Okay. Welcome, everybody. We are live. Glad to have you tonight. Okay. Welcome, everybody. We are live.
Uh-oh.
Who you're mute?
Well, thank you everyone for having me here.
Right. I think we
Never a dull moment in live TV.
Yeah,
Never a dull moment.
This is live.
Let's see, what is she doing?
Sharita's on mute. Nate, you want to go ahead and get started?
Nate? Yes.
Are we, so is everything set, Sharita? We're good to go?
Are we?
Yes,
so
we are.
Everything...
All right. So I know that there's a reverb issue that we're having, and we're sorry about that, but we just want to thank all of our viewers and supporters for watching yet another webisode that we're hosting, where we showcase one of our new scholarship recipients. My name is Nathaniel Crawford, CEO and co-founder of the Deja T. Crawford Foundation. And for those who have given in the past, we just thank you for your continued support. And to all of our students out there that may be watching our past recipients, thank you for being a part of our family. If you are interested, at the end, you're going to hear some announcements about up and coming things that we have with the foundation, and many opportunities to give in the various avenues that you can do so. So without further ado, because I'm very excited for us to get to the meat and potatoes of this thing, I'm going to pass it off to our co-founder, Natavia.
All right. Thanks everyone for joining. So today, our first scholarship recipient is Layla White. Wow. I cannot wait until you guys hear what this young lady has accomplished. But first, let me tell you what we require for our scholarship applicants. A 2.7 GPA or higher. We look at a performance video for our performing arts students, and also for our journalism students, either a video showcasing their talent or an essay on a specific topic. We have what recommendation letters. Each recipient is required to write an essay to the foundation, and we look at transcripts. And so, again, Layla has met our requirements. She's gone above and beyond. Yeah, she really has. The first thing I would like to say is she was in the top 10% of her class with a 4.1 GPA.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah,
That is awesome.
let us toot your horn. Yes, you're deserving of this. Very deserving of this.
Thank you.
Yeah, she's amazing. So let me get the questions going, and I'll start, and then you guys can jump in anytime you like. But what made you want to, start with dance?
Whew, this is a packed question already. But I've been dancing since the age of 3, professionally since the age of 7. But dance, I feel, was my birthright. I feel like I've been dancing since the womb, as my mom tells me. It's something that brings me passion. It brings me solace. It brings me grace. It brings me peace of mind. It's something that grounds me, and it's something that allows me to express myself and express my story. And it's been like that since I was a kid. I've always loved performing. I've always loved dancing. I love the discipline that came with dancing and training. I'm a classically trained dancer. I've been training since the age of 7. So I've been in the game for a while, and I've grown a lot with my relationships with people and networking and just learning. And it's overall, dance has just made me a better person and a well-rounded individual. It's grounded me in so many ways that's not even fathomable. But I just know that dance is something that I was created to do, and created to serve others through doing it. So I'm just grateful to continue to do it and continue to lead that passion that my inner child has been craving to do since the age of wherever, craving to get on stage and craving to travel and perform and share this light that I know my being is willing to offer. Yes.
All right, awesome, awesome. So I know that Nate and Sharita don't have as much information on you as I do, because I'm a part of the committee. But when you talk about, what your mom said about you dancing and jumping around in the womb, so your recommendation letter from Candy, she talked about knowing you, for 18 years.
Yeah.
And so she talked about how you were premature.
Oh, yes.
She said, she told me that, basically you were 2 pounds at birth.
I was a
And
premature
so
baby.
she went from that up into where you are now, and just basically spoke very highly of you. She talked about how, from birth to now that, you're thriving, and you was just destined to, to dance. And she said, that your unwavering dedication to whatever you put your hands on is, going to be accomplished. So I was, very excited to hear that, 2 pounds, and look at you, 2 pounds, really?
My mom reminds me of it every day, that I was a 2-pound baby, and now I'm
Yeah.
But yeah, I was 2 pounds in the hospital for nearly 30 days. December 1st, 2005. Yes, that's born. But I'm very grateful for my mom's line sister, Miss Candy. She has been a part of my life since I was a kid, since I was young enough to remember. But yeah, dance has allowed me to touch others and touch other art avenues through the arts. It's really exposed me to a lot at an early age that has allowed me to step into this next chapter of my life of college with an open mind and a grounded heart. So yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I can keep going with the questions. I want to give anybody else an opportunity to ask anything.
So I do have a question for you, Layla. Actually, I have 2, totally unrelated.
Yeah.
My first question is, of course, the staple question: how did you hear about about our scholarship? And then my second question is more on the artistic side. So, for example, there was an Italian painter many, many years ago. Giotto is his name, and to show his love for the Pope in Italy, in Vatican City, the Pope wanted something done to commemorate the love that this particular painter had for him. And so in court that day, Giotto painted freehand a perfect circle. They measured the circle, and it literally was 365 degrees in one stroke.
Wow.
He used his art and his gift and talent to showcase his love. How do you exude that in your dance?
Ooh. Well, to answer your first question, throughout my journey of senior year, senior year is a beast. Just tell you that. you're trying to figure out, mentally to be stable, trying to transition yourself from, young adult to adult. And then the pressures of applying to colleges and then looking at that tuition and you're like, oh my gosh. But it really came down to finding scholarships that really fit me and fit my artistry and fit the path that I wanted to go towards. And when I researched and found Deja, Deja's scholarship, it really touched my heart to see that she was also intertwined within the arts. And through my mother's guidance and through, us researching it, we decided to apply. And, thank God, it led us to this moment now. But how do I use my art? Can you repeat that question again? How do I use my art?
How do you use your art to showcase your love and passion for either the audience that you are performing for that day? Is there like a certain mindset that you have, like a certain place that you go in your mind?
I definitely consider my artistic being and then my personal being intertwined but separate. It's like before I go on to stage or before I ready myself to prepare myself to dance, it's definitely a mindset that I have to enter, a being to tell the story. I consider myself a storyteller through either the gift of gab or through my through my movement. I've been like that since a kid. I've always felt very emotionally in tune with my dancing and emotionally in tune with myself that allowed me to tell these stories. It's interesting that you say love and how do I show love? And I think that is just it, my movement, digging into the depths of myself and doing the work on myself and through myself and knowing the things that I go through and things that I'm going through, and to be able to filter that out on stage and to touch others through my movement and it being an unspoken word unspoken speech on stage through my movement. It's so powerful to experience and to feel, because I'm filtering out these emotions and I'm telling these stories that some people haven't really heard aloud, but through movement. And just, I've had people come up to me after I perform and tell me that what they were, if the dance was about a particular story or the song touched them and my movement translated what they were feeling, it's a connection. So I deeply adhere to that connection from artist to audience. And that's something I value so much, because it definitely takes in turn what I have to give and what I give back. It's like a reception. It's like what I receive and what I put out and I receive it back. But yes, it's not something sort of a ritual or mindset that I do before I go on stage, but I do believe in prayer and I do believe in being one and being still before I go on stage and taking deep breaths and allowing all of my energy to be cleared enough for me to translate clearly the art that I have to give, because I'm so passionate about it. I'm so passionate about the arts in general, not just dance. I seek to be a multidisciplinary artist and not just be known as a dancer, but as an artist and someone who holds space for art as a holistic thing. But when I perform on stage, it definitely it helps me mentally to get out all what's going on in my mind, and for it to be a movement thing. It's therapy, and that's something that I also want to pursue, movement therapy. So when the audience receives what I give, it's always a prize. It's always a reward. It's always something to reflect on, so I could always continue to go on, continue to dance, because dancing could be exhausting and performing could be exhausting, even in real life. performing, if you have a job interview or you got to go to the store, performing is exhausting, but it definitely gives depth once you add that intention of love and that intention of receiving, and not even receiving, but just giving back. And I think that's what my gift has been granted to me since my birth, since I was in the womb, to give back through dance and to give back through the arts and just to be grounded in that intention. So, yes.
Well,
thank you so much for both of those answers. That's phenomenal. I'm blown away. Sharita?
I was just going to say, first of all, apologies. every year is something, but we always come back on track. But this is a great segue to go right into that love that you're talking about. So we're going to share your video that you submitted, and we are just so proud of, you know, what you've accomplished over your journey, and we definitely want to share that. So here we go.
Thank you.
Not sure what happened there.
No problem. I know.
My
Yeah.
goodness. Okay, let's see what's going on there.
I would get up and show you, but you know.
It is, you know, we already know where this is trying to come from, but we're going to allow that, okay?
Yeah. But no, a little bit of while we get that going, a little bit of storyline behind that piece. I created that piece my junior year of my high school journey. The dance is an ode to Nina Simone's Number Pop. Yeah.
Amazing.
Bravo.
Thank you.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. So before we continue, oh wait, hold on. Am I on? No, I'm good. Yeah. Before we continue, to anyone who, and I know that we're supposed to wait till the end for this, but to anyone that is a charitable giver that has never given to the arts,
Mhm.
how can you watch that video and not be compelled?
Thank you.
The Bible has a verse there where a lot of pastors use it when it comes to money and giving, but the passage says, where your treasure is, there will your heart be also. Your treasure, Layla, and your heart have found each other.
Wow.
And it is a blessing and a pleasure to have you under our scholarship. Anybody watching and listening, just, I mean, the purses, pockets, wallets, everything should just be open right now, because that's just amazing. All right, I'm done talking. Go ahead, Sharita.
Well, the pleasure is all mine. Thank you guys so much.
I was actually going to turn it over to the rest of the board, you know, Natavia, Andrew, Thurman, anything you guys want to say?
Well, I know these guys, Andrew and Thurman's they're on here, but I do want to talk a little bit about your awards, your volunteering. When I tell you her resume is, I mean, it's too many to name. I don't understand where you get the time to
But it happened, though. It happened.
do all of these things. I don't. When I tell you it's a page, like a full page of just, I mean, who has that kind of time but an 18-year-old?
As a matter of fact, why don't we learn a little bit about Layla? Like, we haven't given her an opportunity to say who she is, where she's from. Like, we didn't do that part yet.
We can, but let me ask you this. In your essay, you talked about working with the Silence the Shame nonprofit.
Yes.
And I think that was really important to you because of how you laid it out. You know, you're talking about the kids that you work with, you know, minoring in psychology and using dance to, you know, help, you know, young children overcome anxiety through dance. And, you know, this Silence the Shame nonprofit. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Of course. Well, my junior year, I was offered the opportunity to join the Youth Advisory Council of Silence the Shame nonprofit organization through way of Usher's New Look, another program that I was interested in and got into. But through Silence the Shame, I've been able to use my platform and my voice as a solace to others. Through councils, through meetings, through advisories. It would be us meeting with a group of youth to figure out ways that we can combat the crisis of mental health, lack of mental health and mental aid for youth, and especially within marginalized communities. And it definitely has been something that I've been passionate about because it's something I want to pursue in my career. As stated, I am attending the University of Southern California in the fall. I plan to major in dance and minor in psychology, and I plan to merge the two and to commit myself into pursuing a dance therapy practice that allows the mind and the body to be one in healing, and with the special intention and targeting, like I said, marginalized communities with access to mental aid and mental health therapy. It's been a journey, especially as someone who is still going through their own mental health issues, especially during COVID, where it all started, where I decided that I wanted to pursue a career in the mental health field. I feel like COVID for us all was a pause in different ways, but it definitely was a pause for me, and being disconnected truly from my grind, don't stop, schedule, I was used
Absolutely.
to being on the go. I was used to being real, real on the go. I was training, I was doing all these extracurricular activities, but then all of a sudden it became stopped, and no longer I could go to a place as far as training and dancing and performing because the world was shut down, and I became trapped in my own mind. It felt dark. It felt like I didn't have anyone to turn to, but that wasn't the case. And I realized that through time, but through help, that most importantly, my community, allowing me to filter out my own burdens through dance and through conversation, and me going to therapy and advocating for therapy. And that's something that I do also within Silence the Shame, advocating a space for youth to be expressive about their mental health issues and expressive about going to therapy, and allowing them the platform to talk about that without shame. Silence the Shame is literally in its name, silencing the shame on mental health. I remember one time I did a panel. They asked me to come in for a panel, and we talked to a Boys and Girls Club of Atlanta. And most of the conversation centered towards, the youth not having an opportunity or a platform to talk about their mental health issues, or either it was too expensive or generationally it was not a thing or normalized, especially within the Black community. And this is something that I intended on breaking up, becoming minoring in psychology, to break up that stigma that Black people don't go to therapy, or Black and brown kids don't have access to that therapy because they need the access to therapy, because I needed it. And it definitely broke down a lot of barriers for me, and it allowed me to share my platform and then hear others. Like we talked about in the beginning of the series about receiving and giving to the audience, and that being in Silence the Shame allowed me to receive in a different way and give in a different way. And it was more of a release to hear people my age go through the same things. And it seemingly we thought we were by ourselves. Seemingly we thought, the mind could be so tricky and convincing us that we go through stuff alone, but that's not the case. And Silence the Shame has really given me the platform to ground myself and to express myself through the things that I want to do in the future and doing it presently. But yeah, that's on that. I really, as far as my other community service projects, and my parents have instilled in me from an early age that giving back was a moral, not something that was a choice. It was something that we need to do, and something that it builds character, not only character, but it's just good to do. It just feels good to give back. So I've been involved in community service as food pantries, book drives, etc., since a kid, but that is a long resume. It was more intense throughout my middle school and high school years, but it's always really good to give back in multiple ways, throughout the arts, throughout mental health, and throughout the physical community service. It's always good to put yourself in the position as a giver than the receiver, and that's something that's really grounded me into my arts and into dance, and it does help me perform, and it helps me understand people more. And I think that's what Silence the Shame also helped me do. It helped me understand a lot of what's going on currently, and I'm hearing firsthand from the youth what's going on. So it definitely inspires me to continue my pursuit and my journey and what I intend to do and pursue as a career. Yeah.
Amazing.
Awesome.
Amazing. Mm-hmm.
Thank you.
So Nate, do you think she need any more? Do you need any more information from this young lady? Let me tell you,
the one plug we did not get. So Layla, where are you from?
I am from Atlanta, Georgia.
There we go. That's
born
what I was
born and raised from Atlanta, Georgia. A little slight background on me. I'm gonna make it very short. Born and raised in Atlanta, Georgia. Been dancing since the age of 3, professionally since the age of 7. I've been intertwined within the commercial and concert dance industry, meaning that you would see your Dance Theater of Harlem, Alvin Ailey, that's considered concert. And then commercial wise, film, television, Netflix, commercials. I've been intertwined with that throughout my high school years and my middle school years. At the age of 13, I was featured in my first gig, my first job on a Netflix film with Debbie Allen, who chose me to be in her her cast, which really broke
Oh,
down.
wow.
Which really, and she might never know this, but she really did break down the door for me, and in that confidence in me being a 13-year-old on set,
Mhm.
and having that experience then, and knowing what I know now, and going into the path that I'm going into now, and moving to LA to pursue my dreams to dance. It just gives me so much grounding and so much of a wow, I've lived this life at a young age. I was talking to someone, I can't remember who I was talking to, but I was just saying that I'm so grateful for everything that I've been through to get to this exact moment here. All the lessons that I've learned, the places that I've been put into. Dancing has instilled in me a discipline that I can use in professional world, I can use in a conversational world. It just has taught me so much lessons that I plan on building in my adult years, because I was used to being a child, a child dancer, and then an adult dancer is different. And I'm learning that the difference is different. But yeah, that's a small background on me. I've been arts educated my whole life. I'm very, very passionate about the arts, and I've seen firsthand arts programs being cut down due to lack of funding. So I definitely get what you're saying. I get what you're saying about funding the arts, because it is a thing. A lot of the arts programs that I knew existed when I was a kid are no longer in existence, and that's the thing worldwide. Why do we feel like we have to cut the arts? Why do we feel like the arts is not able to be flourished and seen? The high school that I just graduated from, their program, it could be better through funding, and through just being seen, and just being heard enough to have that same exposure that the football teams get, or the athletes get, and seeing dance as a sport, and seeing dance as being an athlete. And I guess that's what another reason why I chose the University of Southern California. Their resources and their intention to fund the arts and to expose the arts beyond just it being, a dancer, or, a singer, or someone in cinema, no, they really invest in their students, and they invest in their brand to help students walk into their artistry and grow their artistry. So yeah, it's a little bit of a background on me. I'm A-Town down, but I'm gonna move to LA, so I guess I have to change.
That's all right. You're going to Southern California. Southern California is one of my favorite places on the planet. So you're
it's sunny all the time. That's another reason why I picked it. I can't do snow. That's also, you asked, it was between Howard and University of Southern California. If you asked me 2-3 years ago, I was Howard. I'm a Howard down. Ever since I was the age of 7, I was saying I was gonna go to Howard. But the path has its ways, and California is big. It's really big, and I'm still kind of pulling my shirt like, oh my gosh, is this real? But it's hitting me now because I'm about to move. So yeah. Yeah.
Well, Layla, we just want to thank you so much. I mean, it was so funny. We were talking beforehand, and I'm saying, oh, yeah, it'll be about a half hour. But I did tell Layla, depending on how conversation goes. And of course,
the time went. Yeah.
Exactly. That time flies.
Yeah.
But we just want to thank you so much for being one of our first recipients for Webisode 5. Just so happy for you. We do have a couple of things that we want to share. As a matter of fact, if you like what you saw today, we encourage you to join us next Tuesday. Next Tuesday will be our next recipient, which is Mia Jacob. Mia Jacob has another wonderful story to share with us as being, a part of the TDTCF family, if you will. And in regards to what Nate was sharing earlier, we do have a fundraising gala coming up that is going to be Sunday, October 20th. We want to thank, of course, our sponsors that we have, Misfitted Film Company, Lodestone People Consulting, and I Am Song Performing Arts Camp. They are our sponsors so far. It is definitely not too late to become a sponsor. We need sponsors. And again, if you like what you see here, we encourage you to join us as a sponsor or just to donate. And you can donate on our website, which is tdtcfoundation.org. You can also look at all of our social media. And Layla, we want to thank you again. Thanks the board members. Andrew did say congrats. He's on vacation and took the time to join us.
Thank
Thurman
you.
Rouse, yes,
Yeah.
as well as Nate and Natavia. So thank you, everybody. And Layla, congratulations to you. We know we're going to see a whole lot more of you. Congrats.
Thank you for this opportunity. Thank you for this
Yeah.
space. Thank you.
All right. And with that, we will end our live, and everyone have a great day. Thank you for joining us tonight.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, everyone.